Snipers, you have to see what's happening to the Bitcoin price this Wednesday as our candle closed with a low of 58,373, and we had the number 58,353 on our chart since we topped out here at 69,000. This was our exact target. This is the most accurate channel to the number in the cryptocurrency market, and of course, we've also been taking long positions on altcoins because of the fact that Bitcoin has reached our downside target. Today, we took a long position on Sandbox, IOTA, hitting targets already, and we have a lot of open positions right now to the long side. And this is not a surprise for those that have been on our channel for quite some time. We have the most accurate cryptocurrency trade signals in the world and the best community in the world. And I think it is so cool the fact that we have this candle low just $20 shy of the exact number that we've had on our chart here for a very long time, over 6 months, even over a year, because we knew this was an important level where there was volume and accumulation. And so this is not a coincidence that we have this candle low at 58,373, and we've so far seen a green candle bounce from this area where we also have confluence with the 50-day moving average. So it's time to start looking at the micro time frames to determine whether or not this channel support is actually going to act as a level where Bitcoin could potentially come back up towards the $64,000 level. So let's just quickly first go into the 6-hour chart. This is the institutional time frame. This also helped us predict the further downside that we were seeing when we initially saw this large spike of institutional sell pressure. This was the most volume that we've ever seen since Bitcoin came and consolidated here around the $67,000 level and saw the higher high form at 69,000. And because of that puzzle piece, we assumed that until we were to see price action above the weekly open, that we were potentially going to see another downside move, and that's exactly what's happened. And notice how a lot of sell pressure came in, institutional type pressure, and we've yet to see the buy volume equate to this amount of sell pressure. And that's what I'm waiting for in order for us to determine whether or not this is bottomed out and that we could continue into price discovery. Just remember this though, the $58,353 level is really important because if we break below, there's a 15% gap to the next target at 49,700. So this could really bring Bitcoin's price down if we break 58,353. And so far, it doesn't look like we're going to potentially break this level just yet. And I'll tell you exactly why. If we go into this 6-hour chart once again, look at this bullish candle that came down to test 58,353 on a 6-hour chart. That tells me that we've at least got some time right now, and we could potentially buy ourselves the opportunity to get back above this monthly open at 61,300. And then really what we want to see is 61,844 get conquered by the bulls. And if we can get some hourly and 4-hour candles above 61,844, I think that's going to be the confirmation that we could potentially be seeing more upside, and then we'll have to wait for the volume to come in. But right now, of course, 61,300 at the monthly open seems like it's going to eventually get broken just based on this 6-hour candle and the symmetry of it. And so I think that 61,844 now is the most important resistance. And then, of course, 58,353. It's not a coincidence that we saw buyers come in at 58,353 when we came down to test it, and that brought Bitcoin's price up. Remember, institutions will never want to just drive price down because it's also driving their positions down. They want to move sideways if they're going to slowly start exiting positions. They're going to try to keep it afloat as much as possible. And so I think 61,300 at the monthly open is possible right now as long as we start to see more volume come in, we start to see some price action to fulfill that 6-hour bullish candle. And this is obviously going to be the range that's going to affect altcoins here. So remember, when Bitcoin sees the downside moves, that's not the time to take long positions on altcoins. But when Bitcoin is consolidating to the side, this is the time to take long positions on altcoins. And that's why Sandbox have moved to new all-time highs today. And a lot of altcoins are really starting to separate themselves in the market. I'm truly noticing that, even though we look at some of the altcoin dominance charts showing some weakness, like the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, I think that there are very specific altcoins, even the crypto.com coin, right? These coins, because they have fundamentals behind them. If you guys heard about the Staples arena being renamed now to crypto.com with the over $700 million 20-year contract, those things are going to affect altcoins, and specific ones, of course. So We really want to monitor 61,844 as the major resistance. If we get above that, we could see some upside for Ethereum. And then of course, 58,353. If we break below this level, I'd expect Ethereum to actually see further downside than Bitcoin, just because if we look at the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart, what we're going to find here is that we're seeing some weakness with a lot of lower highs forming as we've been monitoring. And that has continued to be the storyline here, but we are still above this monthly open. And so there is that possibility as well that Ethereum could outperform Bitcoin, and that is going to happen if Bitcoin can get, first of all, above the monthly open at 61,300. We get above 61,844. What we want to monitor is, can Ethereum get back above 72,900 Satoshis and invalidate these lower highs? Because if that's the case, that could be a sign that there is some short-term strength here for Ethereum, and that could also lead other altcoins to see some strength. So that's going to be what we're watching. Bitcoin dominance we do want to address here, moving slightly to the upside today, testing itself above the 200-day moving average. That's not a surprise here. We know this is most likely going to start moving up here and following the DXY, which is really the culprit behind all of the downside that we've seen since Bitcoin topped out at 69,000. It was the exact moment that the inflation numbers came out and the DXY started to push up. But remember, we actually just reached this major resistance. So here's a puzzle piece that I want you guys to keep in mind with traditional markets. This is very important. As you know, this is a 4-dimensional channel, and we watch traditional markets. This is how we predicted the 69,000 short-term top so far for Bitcoin. But because we're at this resistance, if we stay below 95.885 for the DXY, we actually have a positive puzzle piece on the table, because if we can see calmness in the range between 93.82 and the DXY can just kind of start to slow down, this could be a very positive thing for the Bitcoin price and the overall cryptocurrency market. And I think that that's being reflected already with the S&P 500. Notice here how we're not necessarily seeing strength, but we're not seeing weakness. We got back above the previous weekly open. We're staying above our current weekly open. And there is a potential right now we could see further price discovery and new all-time highs for the S&P 500, which would be a positive puzzle piece for the cryptocurrency market. But if we start to see this come down towards the monthly open, that's when we have to be a little bit more concerned as a negative puzzle piece when it comes to the environment outside of Bitcoin. And then the gold to Bitcoin chart could potentially be topping out here. This is going to be very important to watch. If we get towards this 50-day moving average, that would not be a good thing for Bitcoin. But if we can see this form continued lows, that would be a confirmation that we have more fuel left. But so far it's stagnant, but it is starting to move a little bit towards this 50-day moving average. So it's time to watch this chart. It's going to be extremely important this week and next week, in my opinion, to get a confirmation of how much gas Bitcoin has in the tank. And then gold actually pushing back up above the weekly open, and it looks like it's trying to invalidate this bearish candle that was formed 2 days ago after the DXY started to see new yearly highs. So there's a lot mixing right now in the market. A lot is happening. The main thing to realize right now is, because we saw this 6-hour candle show some bullishness, that it's very highly likely that we get back above the monthly open at 61,300. And now 61,844 is the new major resistance inside of the range, with a support of 58,353. The exact numbers on our channel are always extremely important, and I believe in numbers, not other things. So if we get back above 61,844, what we'll want to monitor is, when are we going to see the institutional buy volume come in, because that's the validation that there's still that potential we continue to price discovery. But for the short term, 61,844, we can get above that. Things are going to start looking a lot better here. We get towards 58,353 at any point, and we start to break this with hourly and 4-hour confirmations, the door opens to 49,700. Thank you all for tuning into the Snipers channel today. Remember to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. We hit over 100 likes on our video yesterday for the first time in quite some time. And so it's very nice to see that. I appreciate each and every one of you tuned into the channel. I'm still here in Mexico. My father's actually coming tomorrow. I'm bringing him out here because I want to spend some time with him, and it's going to be fun. I'm going to have a video out tomorrow, as we always have here on the Snipers channel. And until tomorrow, Snipers out.